Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and post another live support request. Let's take a look at question number 59 from practice test 2. Please ignore this practice test 1 on the screen. It's actually practice test 2. It's a typo. So question 59. Bernard is now Y years old. Okay, fantastic. So Bernard is Y years old. Louis is 8 years older than Bernard. In terms of Y, how old was Louis 5 years ago? Okay, so how old was Louis 5 years ago? All right, so what information are we given at the moment? Louis is 8 years older than Bernard. Okay, so I'm going to say that L is equal to 8 plus B. But Bernard is now Y years old, so instead of B, I can go ahead and just say this as 8 plus Y, okay? So Louis, sorry. So Louis is 8 plus Y. Now, it's saying in terms of Y, how old was Louis 5 years ago, right? So this is not asking for the present time, right? So it's asking for 5 years ago, how old was Louis? Well, you know what? Louis was still 8 plus Y, but subtract minus 5 because it's 5 years ago. Therefore, Louis is, well, 8 minus 5 is simply 3 plus Y. So it's 3 plus Y or Y plus 3, which is answer choice C. Let's take a look at question number 60. Okay, so in the figure above, A, B, C, D, B, E, E, F, G, and C, F, H are straight line segments. What is the value of X, right? So what is this value over here? Looking at the diagram, you should automatically realize that angles DBA, which is what you're looking for, and angles CBE are vertical angles. That means that whatever this angle is equal to, it means that this angle is the same thing. And if you look at the other side of the diagram over here, angles GFH and angle CFE are also vertical angles, meaning that this angle is the same as this angle. And actually, in this case, we're given this angle over here, and this angle is 65 degrees. If this angle is 65 degrees, that means that angle CFE, which is over here, is also 65 degrees. So let's go ahead and write that down, 65 degrees. Now, on this side, we don't know what the value of X is, and we don't know what this side is. So now we're in, some sort of predicament. But we're actually not, because you know what? We know the value of this angle. We know the value of this angle. We know the value of this angle, and we're missing this fourth angle over here. And this is a four-sided figure, and that means that the sum of all the interior angles should equal to 360 degrees. So therefore, we can set up a simple equation and write X plus 110 degrees plus 110 degrees plus 65 degrees should give us 360 degrees. And if we add that all up, we have 110 plus 110, which is 220, plus 65, 5, 8, 2, and then I can subtract 360 minus 285, and I'll get 5. I'll get a 5 over here, 15. This becomes a 2, and this becomes a 7, so I have 75 degrees. So I know that this angle now is 75 degrees, and because this angle and this angle are vertical angles, that means that this is 75 degrees, but this also is 75 degrees. Therefore, the answer choice is K. This X, or this the value of X is 75 degrees. Question number 61. Which of the following shows the fraction 13/3, 37/8, and 19/4 in order from the greatest to the least? So first of all, don't make that mistake, okay? The answer is going to be from the order of greatest to least. And now we are stuck with these three ugly fractions. But how can we go ahead and figure out which one of these fractions has the greatest value, right? So right away, what I'm going to go ahead and do is actually I'm going to go ahead and convert these fractions into mixed fractions. So how do I convert 13 over 3? So this will become into a mixed fraction, which 3 goes into 13 4 times, and then we're left with 1/3, right? I hope that in this video you already know how to convert improper fractions to mixed fractions. I'm going to assume that you know that. In this fraction, we can convert this, and this 8 goes into 37 4 times, and we are left with 5 over 8. And then over here for 19 over 4, well, 4 goes into 19 4 times, and we're left with 3 over 4. Okay? So now, right off the back, you should be able to work with these these mixed numbers for, so let's take a look at it. 3 over 4 is equal to 0.75, right? So this is basically 4.75. And 4 over 1/3, well, I hope you know that 1/3 is just 0.33333333, right? So this is 4.333, and then the only fraction that you might have trouble with is 5/8. And if you don't know that, you can simply go ahead and divide with 8 divided by 5, and you get 1, this becomes 80, it becomes 0.16, so it's 4.16. And now if you arrange these fractions from the greatest to the least, this will be your first fraction, okay? So this is 19 over 4. So if you scroll down your answer key, you'll see that answer choice A is incorrect automatically, answer choice B is incorrect, answer choice C may be an answer, answer choice D may be an answer, and answer choice E is automatically incorrect. And now we can move on to our next one. 4.33 happens to be the second greatest fraction, which is 13 over 3, and automatically you'll see that 13 over 3 happens to be the second one, so answer choice C is correct. So the correct answer choice for number 61 is answer choice C. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at question number 62. If x and y are integers, which is always even? Okay, so in these kind of problems, I always like to use hypothetical numbers. So let's just go ahead and say that x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2. Let's take a look at question number F, answer choice F. X plus y over 2. So that means 1 plus 2 over 2, which is 3 over 2, and 3 over 2 is certainly not even. It results in 1.5, which is not even, therefore f can be automatically crossed out. Now let's try to plug in these hypothetical values for g. 2 over 1 plus 2 over 1 is 2 plus 1, which is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And it does give you an even number, but please, just don't stop there, okay? You have to use several hypothetical values, okay? And look at this expression, okay? I see that I have an x in my denominator. So you know what? Let me be evil and say that let's pick new hypothetical value. Let's say x is equal to 5, and let's say y is equal to 1, okay? Because I would like to see what happens when I make my denominator odd, okay? So I have now 2 times x, which is 5, plus y is 1, over 5, and I have 2 parentheses 6 over 5. So now it's 6 times 2 is 12 over 5, and automatically you realize that if I do 12 over 5, I do not get an even number, I get a decimal, okay? This is really has to do with understanding of number theory, okay? And if you do, you'll realize that if I have an odd number in my denominator, I can't possibly always result in an even number. So G is incorrect. H, x minus y, well, this is pretty simple to rule out. If, well, I can simply, well, x and y are just integers. These are the only conditions I'm given. I can say that x is equal to 3, and I can say that y is equal to 2. Therefore, 3 minus 2 is 1. Therefore, h does not have to be even. How about j? 2 parentheses x plus y. 2 parentheses x plus y, okay? And if you really understand your number theory, you'll realize that any number multiplied by 2 will always result in an even number, okay? So I have parentheses around here, so it doesn't matter what these numbers are, as long as this value is being multiplied by 2, I should always result in an even number, okay? So automatically, this is my answer choice, okay? You can go ahead and try to plug in any numbers, any number you want for these. You can go ahead and put hypothetical values, and you'll always see that j always results in an even number. Let's try k real quick. Well, if x squared, let's just say x is equal to 1, and y is equal to 2, x squared, 1 squared is 1, plus 2 squared is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5, therefore this is not even, so k is also incorrect. The correct answer choice for question 62 is J. Let's go ahead and take a look at question number 68. The sum of 7 consecutive odd integers is 749. What is the largest of the 7 integers? You can go ahead and approach this problem 2 ways. I like to use my way, which saves a lot more time, and I go ahead and use a rule which is the mean is always equal to the median, or sorry, the mean is always equal to the median in a consecutive integer series. So over here I have the sum of 7 consecutive integer is 749. So that means my sum is 749, and I have 7 numbers. What is my average, right? If you're confused, please refer back to the average formula. What is the average formula? Well, the average formula is the sum of numbers, right? Sum of numbers over the number of numbers, which is equal to the average. And if you're confused, please watch my average video, an average rule trick video, okay? So this is a rule over here, okay? I'm just plugging in the information that I'm given in this problem. The sum of 7 consecutive integers is 749, therefore my sum is 749, and I have 7 numbers. Well, then I can go ahead and find out my average. Well, 749 divided by 7 is equal to 107. And if I know that my rule is that the mean is equal to the median in a consecutive pattern series, I know that 107 is my middle value. How does that help me? Well, guess what? I'm looking for 7 consecutive odd integers, right? That means I'm looking for a value that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, I don't know why I did that. Let me go ahead and erase that. Let me go ahead and rewrite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I know that my middle value is going to be, where's my middle value? Here's my middle value, right? I have 3 here on this side, 3 here on this side, so my middle value, my median value is 107, okay? And I know that they're asking me that this is a consecutive odd integer series. That means that if I know that my next number will be simply plus 2, which is 109, plus 2 again, right? So I have 111 here, 113 here, and if I want to go backwards, I can just subtract by 2, so it's 105, 103, 101, and this is my 7 consecutive odd integers. And if you really would like to, please go ahead and add all this up, and you should get that the sum of this is 749. But that's not the point. The point is that this is saving me a lot of time, okay? Because what is the question asking? What is the largest of the 7 integers? Well, the largest is obviously going to be the value in the rightmost section, so it's 113. Okay, so the answer choice is J. What if the question asked you what is the lowest value of the 7 integers? Well, then in that case the answer would be 101. Okay, you can go ahead and set this up as a algebraic problem, but I think that requires more time. If you know this way, I think it saves you a significant amount of time, and if you really know what you're doing, you can actually do this question in under 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next question. Question number 69 can also be tricky if you're not careful. V is equal to pi r squared times h. Using the formula above, if r is doubled and h is divided, what is the ratio of the original volume to the new volume? Okay, fantastic. So r is being doubled, right? So V is equal to pi r squared times h, and r is being doubled, not r squared, not pi r squared, nothing, just to r itself. Well, if I'm doubling r, then I can say that basically it will be 2 times r, okay? And now I can put my square back over here and my pi back over here. And if you look at the question again, it's saying that h is being divided by 2. Okay, so h is being divided by 2, so I can say times h over 2, which is equal to V, and this is the new volume. Well, this is a very ugly thing. Let's go ahead and simplify this down, okay? I know that 2r squared, that means that I have to square both this and this, so 2 squared is 4, r squared is simply r squared is r squared, times pi over times h over 2, and I can go ahead and simplify that entire thing actually, and I can divide this 4 and this 2, and it becomes pi times 2 r squared times h, or I can go ahead and rewrite that because it doesn't look so nice. I can go ahead and write this as 2 times pi r squared times h, and that looks much nicer, okay? So this is a simplified version, and this is my new volume, okay? And the question is asking, what is the ratio of the original volume? Well, the original volume is this, pi r squared times h to the new volume, and let's see if we can cross anything out so we can simplify. I have a pi here, I have a pi here canceled out, r squared, h, and h. So we're simply left with, well, if everything is canceled out here, then this simply becomes 1 is equal to, well, everything is canceled out here, we're only left with 2, so 1 to, well, this is not an equal sign, sorry, this is 1 to 2, right? This is a proportion, right? So this is 1 to 2, and the answer choice is answer choice B. Let's take a look at question number 70. A yellow cab has a base fare of $350. $350. That's very expensive. $3.50 per ride, plus 20 cents for each 1/4 of a mile ridden. If a yellow cab costs $22.50, how many miles long was the ride? Well, we can set up an equation, okay? So my total cost is $22.50, and I know that my base fare is going to be $3.50 plus 20 cents for each 1/4 of a mile ridden. That means, so 20 cents for 1/4 of a mile. That means that for a whole mile, how many cents does it cost me, right? So if I'm multiplying this side by 4, I have to multiply this side by 4. So it's 80 cents. So I know that for every mile I'm spending 80 cents. So I can just do 0.8 cents for every mile, right? And I'm going to represent this mile as an x. And so now I can go ahead and solve this equation. I have to subtract 350 on both sides, and then I will take this value and then I will divide this value by 0.8, and I should get that x is equal to 23.75 miles. I actually won't show the math. You can go ahead and do the math yourself. I actually went over this problem in a previous video. So double check if I'm doing this question correctly, and hopefully you get the right answer, which would be 23.75 miles. Answer choice F. Question number 71, please check out my previous video. I've already actually answered this question on a previous live support request, and the answer to this question is answer choice B, which is $26. Question 63, what is the probability that a point chosen will be in the shaded region? Okay, please look at this question carefully, okay? So this is a probability question, and we're saying what is the probability that a point chosen will be in the shaded region? And this happens to be our shaded region. Okay, so we are given two different values, okay? We're given the radius of this side over here, which is actually the unshaded portion, and this over here, which happens to be the entire, this is the diameter of, so this is the radius of the entire figure over here, which is actually very helpful, okay? Well, first of all, let's see what, let's see how we can do, okay? Well, I know that, well, this is a probability question, so I know that my denominator has to be the entire region, okay? And how do I find out the area of my entire region? Well, I have to figure out what is my radius, right? So my radius for this entire thing is y. So if my radius is y, I can find out, I can actually use the formula A is equal to pi r squared. So r is simply y. So y squared times pi. So the area of this entire figure is pi y squared, okay? So I can say that my denominator is pi y squared, and the probability that the point will be landed in this entire region will be what? Well, it would be pi times y squared minus the white area, right? Minus the unshaded region, okay? And how do I find out the area of my unshaded region? Well, I know that the radius of the unshaded region happens to be x, so I can say that my radius is equal to x, so I can once again use my formula. A is equal to pi r squared. R is simply x, so it's x squared times pi. So the over here I would subtract it by pi x squared, and this would essentially give me the probability of that a point could land in a shaded region. If I look at my answer key, I'd see nothing that resembles this, so I will try to go ahead and further simplify it down, and I can cancel out pi, right? So I can actually let's rewrite this equation. I can rewrite this as pi y squared over pi y squared minus pi x squared over pi y squared, and you'll notice that I can cancel out pi's over here, so I'm left with well, I can technically cross out y squared and y squared, and this answer becomes 1 minus x squared over y squared. But if you look very carefully, there's actually not any answer choice that resembles that, so another way to rewrite this is y squared minus x squared over y squared, which happens to be answer choice D. But actually the specialized high school exam, I believe, simplifies every single question down, so you wouldn't actually see answer choice like this. You would actually see the correct answer choice being like this. So my apologies for not simplifying this answer key, the answer all the way down. So this is something that you would definitely see on the exam. However, in this case, this is the correct answer to this problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next question. Question 64, if q is equal to x plus y, so q is equal to x plus y, and x is equal to y plus z, what is z in terms of y and q? Automatically, you should understand that you have to, you see, you're given this value over here for a reason, okay? You want to go ahead and plug this value into this, right? We know that x is equal to y plus z. Therefore, let's go ahead and substitute that entire value into this equation over here. So it becomes q is equal to y plus z, right? I'm getting it from here, plus y, okay? This is the same thing as q is equal to x plus y. So what happens here? So q is equal to y plus y is 2y plus z, and now it's saying what is z in terms of y and q. So you're isolating for z only, right? So you're going to go ahead and isolate z. So if I do that, I can go ahead and subtract 2y on both sides, and it becomes q minus 2y is equal to z, and we can see that the answer choice is F. Q minus, sorry, not F, that's Q minus 2x, I mean answer choice G. Q minus 2y, apologies for that, so the correct answer choice is G. Thanks for watching the video. Please be sure to check out our book on Amazon. It's a specialized high school test prep book. This book comes with 5 full-length exams with answer explanations along with a manual to go ahead and better prepare you for the exam. You will find the link on the video or in the description above. Have fun studying.